Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Holy Joe Rock and Roll Show, live and unscripted.
Hey everybody, this is Holy Joe Rock and Roll, coming at you live and unscripted. And this live and unscripted report in the news is what's been happening the last couple of days. January 13th, so yesterday again, Sunday, this report came out that Poland could start banning the use of HUAWAI products because of their corruption and spying. So on Sunday, following the arrest of a Chinese HUAWAI officer in Poland. Now, what people don't know is that this guy arrested for spying in Poland, this HUAWAI official, used to work for the Chinese government. He worked in the Chinese embassy in Warsaw. And that information was available and reported as being available on LinkedIn. I didn't look for the guy, but there was a Chinese guy spying in Poland. Okay, now this is just a commonplace, and people need to wake up. You know, I don't think we can say that China is our friend. They've been stealing intellectual property from the West, and in general, right, everywhere, and they continue to implant spying stuff in equipment. So here we have, I read a different article from a different a news outlet. I didn't read this, but I wanted to get into this right away. So welcome to the stream, everybody. Those of you who are watching, this is live and unscripted. I'm reporting live from my office here in Krakow, Poland. Krakow, as I like to call it. So people are, look, this is going to maybe ruffle some feathers, but it's all about money, I think, in most cases. If you're a Polish official and you're taking money from the Chinese to allow them to put their technology in the country, you are a traitor to the people, right? If you know that these guys are spying on you and you still allow them to do this, come on, who are we kidding? Who are we kidding? Now, hopefully this will stick and that we kick these guys out, man. They found, bugs, little tiny chips in a lot of electronics that are being, assembled in China. And it turns out that they aren't sure exactly how it's happening, right? But they think that there's like a third shift, and some of these HUAWAI are implanting these spying chips in some of these motherboards and servers and stuff like that. And that like 1/3 of cloud-based computers may have these Chinese devices. Okay, so not only is this an issue in Poland, of course, has been an issue in the United States. HUAWAI is considered to be the world's largest producer of telecommunications equipment, and it faces intense scrutiny in the West over its relationship with the Chinese government and U.S.-led allegations that its devices could be used by Beijing for spying. So I don't know why they're saying this. No evidence has been produced publicly, and the firm has repeatedly denied these accusations. If you look on YouTube and Google HUAWAI spying, you'll find videos showing you the spying apparatuses on the motherboards. So that's just a fact. Now, I mean, who wants to? There's these tiny little microcontrollers on there that most likely are sending information to Chinese servers. Okay. So I mean, it's a big issue. It's a big issue. It's a big problem that we need to deal with. There's a separate article here. Chinese court sentences a Canadian to death. Oh well. Canada's dead anyways, right? After the current Justin Trudeau screwed that country. So yeah, check this out. So a spokesman for Poland's security services said on Friday the Polish official arrested by the country's internal security agency, the ISA, has been responsible for issuing security certificates for equipment used by public administration. So check that out, man. That's the guy had access to security, so basically encryption and potential others. Yeah, so encryption certificates is what this guy had access to. And most likely he was copying them, sending them off to China so that they could read, most likely read communications happening on the HUAWAI equipment being made. So whether it be telephones or other networking equipment, we do not have the legal means to force private companies or citizens to stop using any IT company's products. It cannot be ruled out whether we will consider legislative changes that will allow such a move, he added. So this is a big issue, as I said, that continuously seeing Chinese people spying on the United States, getting caught. There's a lot of evidence to suggest that a lot of these Chinese students that are in the United States seeking higher education, masters, PhDs, that kind of stuff, part of their job is to suck as much information and research from the United States as possible and ferry that stuff back to China. I mean, people say, these IQ tests show that the Chinese, East Asians, Chinese and Japanese, they have a higher IQ on average than Europeans. And obviously, I've met a lot of really smart Chinese people. It's true. And Japanese people, it is true. Especially the ones in the United States. A lot of them, I would say a great majority of the ones that I can think of, even Koreans, been really smart people, really intelligent, hardworking people. Even the illegal Chinese guy I knew, he was a smart guy. He was pretty smart. He was in the country illegal, and he wanted me to hide him, and I said no. And I did not hide him. And I don't know what happened to him, but that's neither here nor there. Are people watching this House of Stream? Is this thing streaming? I have green lights, but it's not updating on my system over here. It's not updating on this browser. Restore chat. No. Let me just pop this out. What's going on? Done. Pop out chat. Okay, chat's popped out so I can see you guys. Can somebody chat real quick? Just tell me, can you see this stream? Oh, wow. Here comes all the chat now. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, Yahweh. Okay, great. Thank you. Mizawan? Mizo1. How do you pronounce that? Me. Like Jem. Me. Okay, anyways, I'm trying to pronounce this guy's name, if that's a real name. Misha 1? Could be. Chat. Okay, it's working. That's working. Cool. Thank you guys. I just, for whatever reason, my screen is not updating. Mouse 1. Yeah, Misha. I finally got that. Like Mouse 1. Cool, man. You see, I figured it out. See? Ja mówisz po polsku. Może jest trochę powoli. Uczy się krok po kroku cały dzień. Uczy się something new. Coś nowe. So, yeah, this is a big issue, guys. It's not just in Poland. I mean, we found this stuff a lot of places, all right? People are spying on the West. And that's why I was going to finish this thought, is about these East Asians, supposedly East Asians. Meaning, Chinese, Japanese, Koreans. At least in the United States. Thank you. Yeah, it says I speak good Polish. It's pretty good. It's not bad. It's moje po polsku jest lepiej niż zbyt dobrze. Taki średnie, ja mówię. So it's better than not very good. It's kind of medium. That's what I like to say. And people generally understand me. Polish people are really tolerant of me trying to speak the language, unlike the French, who pretend they don't understand you if you say "Où est la métro" when it should be "le métro." Come on, give me a break. It's just asinine. But yeah, I'll do a Polish update probably. Maybe not today. Maybe today. Just to throw out some more Polish. Because wszystko jest możliwe, kiedy ty chcesz uczyć. I mean, come on, man. Thank Mouse One. Thank you. Yeah, so I'm just saying, in the U.S. at least, because at least until, I haven't been back in the United States since 2009, so it's coming up on 10 years. And the last place that I was working was in Silicon Valley, so I had access, and I was working side by side with a lot of H-1B visas, so people who were coming in to work. And I have to say, look, this is no secret. Any American of at least above average intelligence who's working in Silicon Valley should be honest enough to tell you is that half of these people in Silicon Valley are not super smart. They're just average, if not even below average, engineers or technical people. They're not that freaking smart, and it's a myth that the United States needs to import all these, Indians and Chinese people into the country. It's a myth. I worked side by side with people, and I have to say, it's not I don't think it's a gender thing, but there was 2 Indian women. They were terrible. There was 2 Indian guys. One was Hindu, one was Muslim. Oh, thank you so much, man, for that super chat. The Yazel says, beer money for you speaking Polish. Ja będzie mówić po polsku. Cały video, kiedy to jest dobre, kiedy to jest tak. Yeah, listen, guys. Somebody raised a good point. I'm gonna get to the Israeli thing next. Okay, don't worry. Don't get to the Israeli thing, because that's another thing. We might as well throw in the Israelis in there too. But I'm just saying, I was in Silicon Valley and I bumped elbows with all these people, and just this is anecdotal, but I think it represents Silicon Valley. There was 2 guys. One was Hindu, one was Muslim, and they actually were from the same sort of tribe, or not tribe, obviously, the same community, and they spoke this click language, boot, right? And they were helping each other out across the desks, right? And they'd been at the company 3 or 4 months before me, and they really worked pretty hard, and they were pretty damn smart. So I'm not taking it away from those guys, or at least let's just say they had because they were helping each other out, they advanced fairly quickly in terms of their knowledge of the systems and stuff like that we were working on. Whereas me and the other Americans, they weren't helping each other. They were not helping each other out. And in fact, when I asked for help, I take that back. I take that back. There was one guy, he was black, he was African American. That dude was smart as hell. That dude was super smart. So he was definitely a very smart black man, African American man. He wasn't from Nigeria. He wasn't from, as far as I know, he wasn't from the islands, so he wasn't like a new thing. But no. It was a Hindu and a Muslim. They were both Indian. Those are the guys that are helping each other out. They were pretty smart. But the black guy was super smart. And that was almost like the exception that proves the rule. All these stupid movies where the black guy is the tech guy and he's a super genius. Well, I've only seen that in one case. And I'm not hating on black people, but this guy was freaking awesome. He knew his shit, and he really would help you. And he was really a good guy, okay? And he had some problems with the management because I think they were treating him like shit. Possibly because he was black, because management was Indian for the most part. A lot of Indians had came in, and they were in charge. And actually, my Indian boss was awesome. Now, he was awesome. He was a man. But his boss was a woman, and she was terrible, man. She was terrible. Now, when I say awesome, my manager, he was badass because technically he was great. But as a manager, he was horrible. She, on the other hand, was maybe a little bit better as a manager, and technically she was okay. But, when you get bumped up further or higher up into the management, you don't have to be, you don't necessarily need to know the nuts and bolts because you're managing a team of a couple hundred people, so you can't really sometimes dive into that deep. Yeah, so those Indian guys were helping each other out, and they would not help me out. And the funny thing is that the American guys, like the white guys, they wouldn't help me out either. One white guy was gay. He got fired. One American guy, he was actually Chinese. He got fired. He was more of a different, he had a different technology set. He wasn't stupid, but he couldn't handle what we were doing. Okay, it was a little bit higher in the stack, let's say. So his competencies were a little bit lower in the stack, supposedly. And he got fired. So 2 guys got fired because 3 of us got hired at the same time. I'm the only one who didn't get fired. In fact, the company I took a job in Poland. I transferred to Poland. That's how I got back here in 2007. But I digress. Now, one of the questions here, one of the guys is asking, you know, saying that, yeah, the Israelis are also spying. Yeah, that is true. Dude, how do you think the Israelis got the bomb? How do you think they got the nuclear triggers? Why do you think JFK was assassinated? It wasn't Lee Harvey Oswald. In my opinion, it was because Israel. People are not talking about that. And that, I think, is very possible. Very possible. Because JFK was trying to rein in the Federal Reserve, printing his own currency, known as the silverback certificates. And, 6 months later, he was assassinated. And obviously, we know the official story is a lie. But anyhow, yeah, there are a lot of peoples who are stealing shit from the West. The West is the best, man. We got the best technology. We got the smartest people. We continue to innovate. And these other countries, they're stealing stuff from us all the time. And even Israel. You know, if you just Google IQ by country, average IQ in Israel is below that of any European country. So there may be some so-called super smart people, and obviously you have a bell curve, right? There's going to be some smart people and some stupid people, most people in the middle. But again, my experience with so-called Jews, not been that smart. Some have been very smart. I'm talking about in the technical realm, programmers, engineers, managers. Oh my God, I had the stupidest freaking manager, even a boss, Jewish boss. So, I mean, look, there's all kinds, man. There's all kinds. A lot of the success is luck, connections, hard work, yeah, persistence. Yeah, what's up, Jeremiah? Yeah, man. I trimmed the beard a little bit. Look, you know, even though in the videos you couldn't see it, but I trimmed it so it touches the mustache. But yeah, man, Jeremiah Johnson, aka. So yeah, this is a really critical thing, guys. Keep an eye out for that, man. And the report that I did on that so-called Polish company that had the tagline, "It's your life, just take it." Did you see that? I called it the worst Chinese marketing thing. Thanks, Magda W. I know you're a guy, but that's cool. No homo. I'm pretty sure, but that's all good. This guy, look, somebody sent me links to the company, and it's like it sounds like a German name, right? Trying to make it like Bang & Olufsen, but it's, I don't know, they may be Swiss or whatever. But the company, according to the Wikipedia, is a Polish company, but that doesn't mean it can't be Chinese people that set up a Polish company to import Chinese-made goods under this brand name. And the tagline is, "It's your life, just take it," and that doesn't make any sense, right? That's suicide. It's your life, just take it. So what I'm saying is, I asked my son, who is a native Polish speaker, he's bilingual. I said, look, you know, what would you say? To jest moje życie, zbierzem, whatever. Like is that how you would say it in Polish? And he said, yeah. And I said, does that translate into Polish as being a sort of a synonym or for suicide? And he said, yeah. So it's very similar to English as far as I know. So most likely it was Chinese people who came up with this tagline and didn't know what the hell they were saying, because they didn't run it past a native English speaker who would have said, bro. Yeah. Yo, Frogman13 says, let's be honest. Talking in any way against the Israelis gets you on the shutdown list, man. I guess so. It's possible. Where's my super chat? Did I have a super chat? I had a super chat. Was it on this video or the last video? I want to thank that guy. Oh, it's on this one. Yeah, the Yazzle. Yazo, man. So you're in Polish or in, I guess these are Norwegian crowns. Thank you, man. Grab me a beer, man. I'd like to know more about Norway. I mean, there was Norwegian girls here in Poland. I'm just, you know, not to change the topic, but there's Norwegian girls in Poland when I was in medical school, and half of them were, like, beautiful. And the other half were freaking looked like potato monsters. Not good looking, man. The Yazo says he was born in Poland, living in Norway, man. God bless. Hang on. Yazi, tell me if you know this. Oh man, how do you say that? Fordohadodet, or Fordohadodet, something like that. How are you, right? Fordohadodet. I can't remember how to say it now for some reason. God damn it. Something like that. Fordohadodet, right? Means how are you? And I was trying to say it in an exciting way, like, dude, what's going on, man? And they said, no, we don't say that. We just say, like, hey, the Norwegians. But thank you again, Yazzie. Hey, does anybody recommend a cheap drone? My little son's birthday's coming up. All right, that's it. 400. That's it. Thank you, Yazzie, baby. Yeah. Butter, bra. Yeah, butter, bra. Yeah, 400. That's right. I couldn't remember the first part. 400. Yeah. So just real quick. So I went into this. When I was studying with these guys, I ran into this place, and I was like, 400, guys. And they're like looking at me like I was crazy, and I was like, dude, I'm just trying to say like, what's up, man? How you doing? And like these guys are probably more German than the Germans, man. They just didn't have any emotions. They would just say, hey, right? And like, hey, that's stolen, appropriated American. Not sponsored by Nawanchovanka water, but I definitely recommend it. Nawanchovanka. This comes from the ground. It's naturally carbonated and got mineral water, and it comes from a city close to where my wife is from. So I'm looking for a cheap drone for a young child. He's going to be 6, and I know most of these drones say you need to be like 8 or 14, but yeah, smash that like button. Thank you, Manga, for reminding everybody. So he's gonna be 6, and he's been begging me for a drone, and also for some, for me to buy some gold on World of Tanks, and I said no. So, but instead, I'd rather spend it on something physical, and I think a drone would be cool. So I'm looking. I saw one that was 200 zlotys. I think it was 200 zlotys, 190 zlotys, I think, in Ashon. And a guy did a review on it, and he said it's a toy. Like a 90-minute or 100-minute charge. The drone lasts for like 4 minutes. Has a cheap little camera on it, which is not really good for navigating. But so I'm thinking about maybe getting that one or something similar. But I did some research, and there was like okay. Thank you, Yazi. When you are saying 400, you are asking and you're actually expecting an answer. While in English, you can just say how are you, like hi, yeah. Okay, someone's saying there's a spy drone for like 200 zlotys. So there was another one. Oh, there was one on, I think, Amazon Deutschland, Amazon Germany. It was 18 euros, so let's call it 20 euros. So that would be about 90 zlotys. That way, 4 times 2, I guess. So like, whatever, 95. Let's call it 100 zlotys. And it was, yeah, it was like a quad rotors, really small. And that looked pretty interesting, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's whatever. That's a possibility. It's a cheap one. There was a promo video for it, and it looked pretty cool because it was like the 5 best 5 cheap drones for 2018, and this was like number 5, and it looked pretty cool. Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking about. So I'm looking for any ideas, either in the chat or you make comments later on if you're watching this later on. Yeah, I know, man. I know. Yeah, he'll break it probably in. Yeah, I'm expecting it to get broken pretty quickly. That's why I don't want to spend a lot of money, but I want him to at least have one and learn on something. The one in Ashan did have propeller guides, protectors, right? That kind of helps so it doesn't get damaged. But it was just cheap plastic. You could tell it was cheap plastic. But for 200 zlotys, I'm not expecting, that much. But, it should at least be decent, right? Of course, the drone's coming from China. So we got that to worry about. Think about. Let me see if I can find it, man. It was, do a new tab. Top 5 drones for 2018. See if I can find this. Do this live. Maybe it was I don't think it was a Parrot. Cheap ones. It was cheap drones. Yeah. Hey, Mouse One, after the stream, you can post a link in the comments. I guess live stream won't let you do stuff. I can read Polish, not that good. I could read it. It depends on what the topic is. Like a newspaper, something kind of general purpose, I can read it and understand. Or it's like a kid's book. Like my kids are in school, so like their homework, most of it I can read. But if it's like legal stuff or a contract, it gets pretty damn complicated, man. And even though I might be able to understand it, I would definitely understand if it's in English, but just the Polish words, I just don't have I gotta increase my vocabulary. You kind of hit certain plateaus, right? Like it's pretty easy to learn the hello and goodbyes and I love you and that kind of stuff. Then you can take it to the next level where you're learning about the food and shopping, buying and selling, that kind of stuff. And then maybe kick it up a notch where you're doing more, how's the weather, and, small conversations. And then, maybe a little bit higher, right? So you just build on your vocabulary and, asking questions, asking for directions. I can do all that stuff. I can pretty much go anywhere. But if it gets like if somebody starts using stupid ass, I won't say stupid ass, but like complex language. Yeah. Then it gets hard. Like where they use some complex word, like they're trying to be cute. Then I'd be like, what the, like it's it's normal. Like the brain gets stuck. Like what the hell is that word? Does it mean this? Does it mean that? But sometimes you can just flow with it and be like, okay, I don't understand that word, but I know if it's in person, and what we're talking about something, and somebody says something, but you're talking about that. You can kind of make sense of it. Top 5 drones for 2018. Let me cheat. Maybe top 5 cheap. I wonder if this is the thing, man. 5 cheap drones under $100. Best reviews. This might be it. I'm trying to find it. It can be hard. It just what I don't like is people who say they can't learn the language. That's just bullshit, man. That's just bullshit, right? I wonder if this is the video. What am I hearing? Let me get to the end over here of the video. Whoa. Look at that. I don't think this is the video. Not that one. Because in the review here, it was number 5. And it had a link to Amazon Germany. Look at this shit. What is this, man? It was 20 bucks, whatever. Guys, I'll do the research later. But, you know, I don't want to bore you with this crap. I'll do the research later, but there was one that was like 20 zlotys, sorry, 20 euros, plus shipping. And it looked like it could be, yeah. Deja vu, man, definitely. Under 190. 20 best cheap Jones. Yeah, I just want to get him something that he'll play with and enjoy. Oh, it looked like this top one here, but I don't know. It was much smaller. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me just double check. Yeah, you can see that. It had this kind of shape, right? Maybe it was a little bit smaller. I don't know how big this is. This is 15 minutes. This is $169. That's a lot of money. Okay, you sent the link. Cool. I'll check it out. Thank you. Misha. Misha. Misha is, it's teddy bear, but mouse is Mish, right? Okay. I'll get back to you guys on that. These look pretty expensive, man. Look at this, man. Range 50 meters. Look at all these propellers, man. Talk about a propeller head. Tomahawk drone. These are not cheap, man. What are they talking about? This top one right here. And this might be dated. Okay, I'll check this out, Frogman. Thank you. Oh, Mish. Mish. Ah, Mis and Mish. Very good. Yeah. There you go. That's right. Mish and Miss. Mish. Miss and Mish, right? Mishu. But Mishu and, yeah, Mishu and Mish. Mish is a mouse. Mish is mouse. Mishu is like teddy bear, right? My little teddy bear. Or like, no proszę Mishu, nie mogę 200 złotych, mogę Mishu 100 złotych, right? Like, no, come on, teddy bear. I can't pay 200 zlotys. Little teddy bear, make it 100 zlotys, right? I had a guy do that. I heard a guy do that once. He said, Mish. But he said Mishu. Listen, we were negotiating to get, I don't know, tires changed? Not tires changed. What was he going to fix? Oh, the whooshko, or the bearing. The tire and the bearing, right? The bearing of the tire had to be replaced, right? So we had the bearing, and we just needed a mechanic to take out the old one, put the new one in, right? So my landlord, he was a cool dude. He came with me to help me find a Warnstadt, or a mechanic. This is in Warsaw. So we pulled up, and the guy goes, you know, it'll be 200 zlotys for him to switch out the bearing. And so this guy said, Nie Mishu, 100 złotych. Proszę, like that, right? So it's pretty cool, man. Yeah, so that's really good. That's good. Yeah, Mishu, Mish, and Miss and Mish. It's hard. Those are the hard things. Like in reading that, like obviously if I read that, I would know the first one, Mish, is teddy bear, and Mish is the mouse. But it sounds very similar, right? And that's, again, you know, so it's obviously the context, right? If you say, boisz mysz, right? Right? Are you afraid of mice? Versus, you know, kto boi się misza, right? Who's afraid of a teddy bear or a little bear, right? So there's a lot of stuff going on, guys. Keep your heads up. Keep aware. Be aware of what's going on. Keep your eyes open, especially if you got, you know, Chinese people working in your Polish company, or if you're working for HUAWAI. I actually interviewed for your HUAWAI position, and I'm glad I didn't get the job. That's the last thing I want to do is work for a damn Chinese company. Although everybody working there was European, and they claimed that they had full autonomy. It was basically like a sales, an engineer sales job, but it wasn't. I just had bad vibes about it, man. And I didn't get the job anyhow, so whatever. So, it's all good. But, yeah, that's my live dash. See, this is what's happening. The live dashboard is not updating. And Stream Health is saying it's slow, but that's what's up. So listen, guys, thanks. Thanks so much for joining me today. Today I made Szechuan beef. It was freaking awesome. I followed the recipe of this guy on YouTube who gives away the Chinese secrets. It was hen hao. Hen hao. Hen hao means very good in Chinese. And there's there's a really cool guy. I can't think of the guy's name, but if you can make it here in Poland. Now you're looking for he said you need a chuck. Now the chuck is the shoulder or the upper back of the cow. So if I'm the cow, they show the picture of the cow. It's like this part, shoulder, like shoulder and neck. But you guys don't have that. At least you didn't have that at Ashon. You had the piece of the cow that's below that, like Lompek, L-O-M-P-E-K or something like that. Wompek. But the two pictures, like the picture in Ashon showed a bigger piece, like it divided it differently. Anyways, that stuff worked really good for the Szechuan beef. You got to cut it really thin. Good technique for that is to freeze it. Yeah, that's it. Wopatka. Yeah, wopatka. It's very similar. I mean, it's not maybe as tender as the chuck roast, which maybe is a little bit higher on the cow. So wopatka probably is like, it's definitely not leg muscle or whatever, but just freeze it. Freeze the meat for like 30 minutes to an hour so it gets hard. It firms it up. And then it makes it really much easier to slice it. Slice it thin. Slice it thin for making the Szechuan beef. And, oh my God, man. Dude, I made it, it was expensive. It was like a 20 zloty piece of meat. It was 700 grams, so over a pound. And, oh man. So over a pound, 700 grams, so almost 2 pounds. Not quite. Pound and a half. And so I kind of a little bit doubled the recipe that this guy had. But yeah, you the meat, got to marinate it real quick. You do salt, pepper, sesame oil, mix that all up, and then cornstarch it up, and then you add a little bit of oil on top of that. Then you're ready to fry it. Okay. Then you're ready to fry it. Yeah, man, the iPhone, the only good thing about Apple is that at least they're not data mining your shit like Google is, right? I would definitely not want an Android phone because, it's not safe, as safe as an iPhone. Now, if Apple would not be data mining you, right? Apple is not making money off the data. They're making money off the hardware. And that's part of the reason why their products are expensive, but it doesn't explain why, the recent price increases and the dysfunction in Apple and the shit that's going on there, because this is what happens when you put a quote-unquote proud gay man, Tim Cook, in charge of a company. These homosexuals also, they say, oh, homosexuals are so smart. This guy's not that smart. He was logistics guy. Logistics is like, making sure that the troops have, food and ammunition. He's not a visionary guy. His design's fucked up. Why did they take the headphone jack out of the iPhone? That makes no goddamn sense. When a guy on YouTube, what's he called, Stranger Things or something like that, he put it back in. White dude in China, American in China, did it himself. See, again, he was not Chinese. I'm pretty sure he's not Jewish. So he's a white European, I don't know if he's Christian or not, I don't know what he believes, but living in China and just basically access their ecosystem and parts in order to actually put the headphone jack back in the iPhone 7. There's room for it. So he did it. So it's definitely possible. So I think the iPhone, you're definitely safer than any Android phone and definitely safer than any non-American branded phone. Like, you know, I would not buy a HUAWAI phone, or I just wouldn't for my personal stuff, or even Samsung. I mean, I had the Samsung. Like, I got honestly, I had the Samsung 5, like the 5S or whatever it is, S5, for work, and yeah, the camera was awesome in terms of the clarity, and the screen was bigger than my iPhone 5 at the time, but I didn't like the user interface, the Android stuff. Yeah. Yeah, pigs, man. Somebody's talking about pigs, and his grandfather had Frogman 13. My grandpa, up until like 3 years ago, had 2 to 3 pigs a year. And the most old school way, he smoked it in a special furnace shed. Good stuff. Yeah, man. I've had some of that stuff. It depends on how your grandpa smoked it, but that's kick ass, man. What I'm told is that, you know, under the new EU regulations that are affecting Polish farmers, they're really making it hard to have livestock on the farm. Especially, let's say, if you have cows and chickens and pigs, you got to have separate rooms for everybody. I mean, it's really burdensome, and you know, the cost of the feed to feed your pigs, and the price deflation. Farmers are getting screwed, you know, in terms of what they get paid for milk, what they're getting paid for meat, and that's messed up, man. Yeah, it's messed up. But Polish product is really excellent, man. I asked my in-laws who do raise animals. Actually, I didn't. I asked my wife to ask them, like, look, would it make sense for them to raise the pigs like in a free range? You know, set up some little houses for them, let them be free range pigs, and you know, then you could get a premium for the meat, right? Hook up with some high-end restaurants and say, look, this is free range pork, and I'm sure you might get a premium for it. So that would make sense. Yeah, there's no such thing as hate speech. There's speech, and if something offends you, too goddamn bad, right? Just learn how to deal with it. Learn how to debate. Let's hear the speech. So, what did I leave off something? iPhone, technology. Yeah, at least you're safe. Safer. I would say you're safer. And you know, there are lawsuits going after Apple trying to break their monopoly on the iPhone store of selling apps. And I think this is a bad idea. This is a bad precedent. You know, Atari got sued on their 2600 and by Activision and a few others. And at first it was good because there was more publishers producing more content for the Atari 2600 back in the beginning of whatever. But you know, by the end, there was no control, and shit was basically being put in a box, and that's one of the reasons why it killed Atari, the Atari 2600. Okay. Yeah. So yeah. So that's a thing that could hurt Apple more than the sodomite who runs the company. Is if they're forced to open up the app store, or forced to allow non-Apple tested apps, it could be a problem. There's a question. Yeah, big tech has too much political power. Because of that, they need to be broken up, in my humble opinion. I tend to agree with you. I mean, look at a Facebook. Facebook owns Instagram. It owns all these other WhatsApp. So you're a social media company which owns a phone company, basically, which owns a app photo sharing. I mean, the same thing. Apple maybe a little bit less, because you got the phone division, you got the PCs, the PC stuff, or the computer division, which is much smaller than like Dell or HP or any individual other company. Their grip of the market is too small. But I can see Google is the one that needs to get broken up. Google owns too much stuff, right? Google, so the search, YouTube, Gmail, it's just too much. It's too much. It's too big. They're controlling too much. So I could see a case being made definitely for Google. I mean, the case was being trying to be made against Microsoft because, you know, think about how stupid this is for Microsoft. Microsoft got sued in the 90s because they were giving away their shitty ass Microsoft Explorer for free, and then they integrated it into their next IO release, operating system release. Microsoft, it's just so stupid what they did. But for, what was it, Netscape, the Netscape company and others sued Microsoft, said that they had a monopolistic control over it, and it forced Microsoft to decouple Internet Explorer from their operating systems. Just make it an app. Just make it an app, right? But look, the fact that Microsoft included Internet Explorer in their operating system didn't preclude you from still downloading any other browser that you wanted and use it, whether at the time Opera came out towards the end, but definitely Netscape. And then Netscape was, crying like a little bitch, and then they got bought by AOL for $4 billion. So it's just freaking nonsense. And then AOL gets bought by Time Warner for, I don't know how many billion, was it a couple $1 billion? I mean, it was a stupid transaction. Netscape, why would you pay, the fuck, man? It just makes no sense, man. Why would you pay so much for these technologies? This is so stupid, man. Yeah, Tim Cook. That's right. I should do a video on what Tim Cook said recently about hate speech and how they're going to shut it down. They're not going to allow hate speech in their app store. And they did ban the Gab app. And that's some bullshit. That's some serious bullshit. I mean, who are they trying to protect? Who are they trying to protect? I don't understand. These faggots are offended because we tolerate them. We don't accept them. We will never accept sodomy as being normal or natural. It's just fucking bullshit. So it's not even enough for them to get people to accept their bullshit. They want you to love them and they're promoting their shit and just getting sick and sicker. And there will be an accountability. It's a spiritual battle that we're in right now. Definitely a spiritual battle. As I wrote a song, go to holyjoe.bandcamp.com. If you really want to support the channel, go to holyjoe.bandcamp.com. Listen to some of those songs, man. Give me some feedback, especially the last two albums. New Genesis is a great album. I think there's 17 tracks on that album. The latest project that I'm working on, it's known as Smoke and Mirrors. There's some really great tunes on there. And one of them is The Fallen State. Inspired by Jesse Lee Peterson, who has his show called The Fallen State. And, it's not about... Yeah, what? There you go. It's not... There's no such thing as racism. There's no such thing as hate speech. It's either good or bad, right or wrong. And that's what I say in this song, some of the lines. But it's a cool song. I really like it. And they actually played it on Jesse Lee Peterson's final episode of last season. They used my song, so I was really stoked. Yeah, man. Yeah, I agree with you guys. Yeah, part of it is, I agree with you about this. We tolerate them. Tolerance is what they were asking for. They said, leave us alone. So we're talking about the LGBT bullshit. I'm old enough to remember when this first started really coming out, right? After the civil rights era, then all this nonsense. Then, of course, it was the gay shit. It's like always who's the next avant-garde of the next leftist, poster child, right? And the left, it used to be a fringe, right? Democrats used to be for the working man. They were labor guys. They were union guys. They were, really trying to protect people, it seemed. And that party is gone. That party of JFK, it would be a definite center-right nationalist populist party in today's era. And that just shows you the left has basically gone socialist. They've gone so far to the left, they are just unrecognizable. Yeah, I'm talking about the Democrat Party in the United States, Democrat Party in the United States, Democrat Party. Deep state and Democrat rats must have made a suicide pact. Deep state implosion overdrive. But yeah, so I mean, you know, look, simple stuff, guys. Remember, you know, at first they said, leave us alone. What happens in the privacy of our own bedroom between two consenting adults? It shouldn't be. The government shouldn't be involved in that, right? And that was, ironically, that was a good sales pitch, right? Because most people, especially Christians, be like, yeah, you know, okay, look, we don't, you know, hate the sinner. Hate the sin, love the sinner, right? We want you to improve. We're not going to, you know, we don't accept this behavior as being normal or natural or good because Sodom equals death. But, we, you know, we'll tolerate it. We're tolerant people. And then, of course, it just went, you know, you give them an inch, they take a mile. You know, then either fortunately or unfortunately, the whole AIDS epidemic flared itself. And, of course, these you know, sodomites started dying because, you know, putting your penis in someone's asshole is not natural. It's sick. It's full of disease, germs, bacteria, whatever else, man. We don't have to go there. You get it. And they started dying, right? So then they started doing this whole, you know, we're here, we're queer, we're here to stay, these rallies, these marches, this whole, then you find out, you know, like guys like Rock Hudson was gay. Who else? You know, Magic Johnson supposedly is HIV. I'm told, look, allegedly that Magic Johnson was a known homosexual in Michigan State University where he went to school. Magic Johnson is gay, or at least, or at best bisexual. And yeah, Freddie Mercury, you know, beautiful voice, amazing artist. And until Mr. Bad Guy come out, I didn't know he was gay. But Mr. Bad Guy is a great album, especially the European version of. And then of course he had the wife beater T-shirt and the stupid ass gay looking mustache. And then I was like, is this guy gay? This guy looks fucking gay. Why is he looking gay on his freaking album, man? Why would you want to look gay? Anyways, man, some cool music there, man. So yeah, so then of course now the gay pride marches where these sodomites are out there in the street, and it just keeps going on and on and on, and now it's trying to normalize trans stuff. And one of my sons at school was they were oh my God, can you believe this? I think it was in their civics class, what would be equivalent to civics. In order to get an A, they had to write 30 letters to different groups. Like one of them was like to write to some government, I think in Morocco, to free some homosexual who was imprisoned. Okay, it was all queer shit. So, so I said, listen, man, why are they promoting this LGBT shit? Do they know that the LGBT faggots are firing Christians who ask the question if the company supports sodomy? And I explained to him what happened, and he brought it up at school, and people, you know, kids his age, he was able to convince that this is bogus, this is wrong. Even some people who said that they were, you know, in favor of like gay marriage in Poland, he started explaining to them just some simple facts. You know, just simple facts, learning from the master, learning from his father. And I would say half of them, I guess half of his kids, he was able to convince that were initially in favor of LGBT rights, he was able to convince that this is stupid, it's bogus. So that's really cool. He's got some skills, potential skills as a wizard. So, that's cool. So what time is it, guys? 8:30 here, 8:30 p.m. on a Monday night, Central European time, Monday, January the 14th. I mean, the purpose of this stream was to, oh my God, I'm gone almost an hour. The purpose of the stream was to talk about HUAWAI, just as a recap, that HUAWAI, a HUAWAI official who was previously working in Warsaw for the consul general, the Chinese consul general, was arrested and fired and arrested, whatever, for spying in Poland. And he had access to the security certificates that were issued to Polish government agencies. So what we're talking about is espionage at the highest level in this company, HUAWAI. As a result, Polish government is thinking about banning HUAWAI equipment from government facilities. Listen, I would recommend, until this is resolved, I mean, look, if it's a personal electronic product and you're okay with knowing that you could be being spied on, I mean, that's up to you. But I would stay away from this stuff as best I could, man. Yeah, man. So, it's messed up. Anyway, keep your eyes open, keep your eyes peeled. Remember to always make it happen for the captain, because you're the captain. I'm holyjoe Rock and Roll. Thanks for watching. Thank you so much for the super chats, guys. I really appreciate it, guys and girls. Tell your friends. Share this link with your friends. Let's get this up to 4,000 subscribers, baby. Let's grow this channel. All right, 2019. And I'll talk to you soon. All right? Peace. Thank you once again for watching the holyjoe Rock and Roll Show, live and unscripted. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you're new to this channel. Thumb it up and give us a comment. Share it with your friends. Thank you so much. Have a great evening. And we'll see you next time here on the holyjoe Rock and Roll Show, live and unscripted.